Monogam-ish Podcast contains content intended for mature audiences. The views expressed here are for entertainment purposes only. Please enjoy the show.
Hi, Ishes. Welcome back. Season 4.
Oh, wow. Back again. Here we go.
I'm Justina.
And I'm Kenji.
And we're Monogam-ish. And we get to give a huge shout out to producer Drew over here, because without that, him doing all the work in the behind the scenes, then this show wouldn't be able to go on like it has for 4 seasons.
I know. He does such good work.
Oh, thank you very much.
Shout out, Drew.
Shout out, Drew.
So today...
Oh, my God.
I know. I've been so excited because you are part of the reason that we also decided to start up seasons 4 again.
For real.
Yes,
For real.
Yes.
For real.
Yes.
Because people were coming to us like, I want to be on your show.
I
When
know.
can I get on? I love it. I'm a huge fan. And so we said, Jamila, come join us.
Yes.
Okay.
So
I'm here for it.
welcome Jamila.
My girl.
Right here.
Right
Right
here.
here.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
So we met you a couple years ago at the office, I
At
believe.
the office. Yep.
And so
You guys were dressed to the nines, as usual. Okay.
Appreciate you.
Gorgeous.
Thank you.
Absolutely
Thank you.
gorgeous. Matching. And we struck up a conversation.
we did.
And I was like, for real? You have a Monogam-ish podcast? For real? Okay. And I think that would have been pre-COVID, right?
It was.
That was pre-COVID. And I actually binged it through COVID.
Okay. Hell yeah.
I became
Wow.
a huge fan through COVID.
Well, I'm glad we could entertain you.
I know,
Well,
right?
I mean, it wasn't just
Right?
entertaining. It was soothing.
Aw.
It was, oh, I'm not crazy. Oh, yes, a lot of these things make sense that other people are discussing, and I am a part of this conversation as well by having access to your podcast. And I don't know. Life started happening. I was like, how do I get back in touch with these humans? And then, sure enough,
Right?
Ask the universe. And it fucking happened.
it happened.
Yes.
Right?
Ask
was
for what I
amazing.
want, and somehow it finds me.
Right?
also,
For sure.
universe, I might need the winning lottery numbers.
Yeah,
If you're
right?
listening,
If you're listening, right?
Hey, also, that's fine.
Oh, man.
We're not going to
Universe,
Okay.
I don't need the winning lottery numbers. I just need this podcast to take off so that I can make the same amount of money that I would win with those winning lottery
Yeah,
numbers.
for sure. There you go.
So we ran into you at the Share Ball.
Oh,
We've been
yes.
promoting the Share Ball because the next one's coming up
I know.
September 29th.
Oh,
I'm so
man.
excited.
Right?
Yes,
Oh,
everybody
man.
get your tickets. We'll have a link that you can access them in the description box, so you can make sure you join us for the next one.
Absolutely.
But you got lucky enough to be invited up on stage as a panelist.
I know.
During the event.
Congratulations. And you killed it too, girl.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And I was like, oh my God, babe, it's Jamila. Because it had been several years
It's been
since
several
we saw you.
years. Right.
And so afterwards, you came up to us and we set this up. And, you know, we're excited because for us, this is going to actually be our first time hearing your story. And we love
Yes.
that.
Yes.
We love that.
Oh, my
Yes.
God.
So
We
where
love
do you
it.
want to start? I mean, are we going back to
I know.
where I
Like,
came from?
Okay, so when a man and a woman love each other very much, the man gets the woman drunk.
We're going
and
that
then
far
they
back.
make a baby. And then me.
That's you.
That's me. So I think I've been poly/unicorny my entire life.
Really?
I understand that there are rules and laws that I have to abide by in order to keep the peace. But there are things that I don't agree with that have more to do with my personal life that I'm not going to do.
Okay.
So, okay, drink or don't drink alcohol. How about I can decide what I want to drink, what I don't want to drink? How about smoke or don't smoke weed? Okay, fine. How about I can make that decision on my own? Also, let's talk about relationships. I'm sorry. What? Who makes those rules? I do.
Yes.
So my parents got divorced when I was young, and that was fine. My father at this exact point is probably on his like 4th or 5th marriage. Who cares? But
I know how that feels.
Yeah.
I have one of those.
yeah, right? But my sisters and I all love each other. My mother is a traditionalist, and she just believes in love. I think that she was raised by other traditionalists.
Oh, yeah,
So
for sure.
she's
For sure.
not going to break the mold, but she's not hating on anybody else.
Good.
You know what I mean?
All
She's
right.
like, okay, gay, straight, whatever. Do you want to smoke some weed? Whatever. Like, it's
Hell
not a big
yeah.
deal. So you make your own rules in certain instances. And when it came to love and relationships, it was like, I'm sorry. As I get older it is hard to be everything to one person. And I have too much life experience for someone to think that they can be everything to me. Like, okay, how many languages do you speak? Do you want to practice with me? No? Okay. How do you want to dance? I want to go dancing. Oh, you have got 3 left feet? Okay, look, it's not a big deal, but that's what friends are for. That's what other relationships are for. And I think that there is a possibility to have your own polycule, have your own community where you have your needs met and you all care for each other. And there's not a competitive nature. It's just, hey, this is what we do. This is how we spend time. It's not really a big deal. And that was the way I started to see the world at a very young age.
Okay. When you say young, are you talking like still in school young?
I would probably say still in school young.
Okay.
I lost my virginity a little bit later.
Okay.
Than others, but I was just as like understanding with myself at that age that I am now. I was just, people are talking a lot about sex. I know how to orgasm. I know how to masturbate. I have known this since I had 2 hands and the internet. And since I was born in 86, that's essentially mechanism.
Boom. Yep.
Boom. There you go, right? So it was like, all right, well, I'll just find somebody that I trust and see what happens.
Okay.
And so I found a person that I trusted, and I told him what the deal was. He was like, okay, I'll make this as special for you as possible. I was like, great. And so we did it. And I remember laying on the bed and thinking to myself, like, are there supposed to be fireworks or something? Like, I don't know. Like, it didn't feel the same as when I was pleasuring myself. I was like, no, I'll get you fireworks. You want fireworks? I'll get you fireworks. But I wasn't disappointed. It was just like, okay, now that I've gotten past that, here we go. And after that, it was just, okay, when I want it, I can have it, but my body is the playland, not somebody else's playland. So I get to have fun. I must make sure that they respect me. I must make sure that I'm being enjoyed the way that I like to be enjoyed. And then everything else can proceed in a more of a, I would say like more of a sensual, like accommodating, enjoying relationship.
Okay.
Where we're not beholden to each other, but also, yeah, I'm not going to betray you. I've got your back. So
Okay.
Cool.
that was how I rolled. Like, that's kind of how I've always been. My second year overseas, I met this couple, and I was unicorning before I had a word for it.
Oh.
Wow.
And
So would you say that at this point, we always talk about it on the show, you have a hoe phase, right? Everybody has their hoe phase where they just go a little crazy and they're like, ooh, I want to try that. 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 Is this during your like hoe phase that you discover that I'm a unicorn but don't know the name of it?
I wouldn't call it a hoe phase, but probably.
Okay.
But probably, I was definitely flexing. So after I graduated undergrad, I was in South Korea for like 2 months. I was in Turkey for a year, and I might need to tell you this joke.
Okay.
All right. So my keeper, who I will not name by name, it's a common enough name. I don't want to betray her. My keeper, she was like, "You're missing out on Turkish men," and I was like, "What are you talking about? Turkish men are like all men. I don't see what the big deal is." She's like, "No, Turkish men are different." So it's like, okay, because I had already lost my virginity and I was ready to figure out what was up. So they would just talk to me because I'm like a snowman in the winter to them.
Right.
I'm so foreign. And I started taking a survey, and I asked her later, I was like, okay, so I don't understand, like, do their dicks point to Mecca? Like, what's so special? Like, they're not a certain size. There's nothing special about them. And she's like, no, they're special. I was like, okay. So I was definitely sleeping around in Turkey. And then after that, I ended up in Dubai. I met this couple, and I was unicorning before I knew what unicorning was unicorning.
Okay.
And we've had a long-standing relationship.
Really?
I stood at their wedding as bridesmaid, and we talk and text all the time. Like we're just really solid. And so before I knew what the language was, I was definitely doing that. I moved around for a while.
So you didn't just sleep with them. This wasn't just a one-time thing. This
No.
was a relationship.
This was a relationship.
And that you still have.
This is.
Okay.
it
Is actively.
Okay.
Oh,
Pause real quick.
Yeah.
Yes, it is an active relationship.
wow.
We they have a daughter named Rain Indica, and she is barely 2. And I gave them a whole bunch of shit because I was like, I'm sorry, she's late, so you called her Indica, but if she had been early, if you called her Sativa, like Rain Sativa, I'm confused. Anyway, they came to visit. I've met her. She's such a happy baby.
Oh, wow.
The
So you see them frequently.
frequently.
Oh, wow.
So this has been like a 15-ish year relationship.
Wow.
But we love each other as human beings. And
So obviously they're poly on some level. Do
They're
they have
poly on some
multiple
level.
other partners?
not to my knowledge.
Okay. That's incredible
And
that
they
you guys
have-
Right?
maintain that
Maintained
close.
it.
Because you just had a bond.
We have a bond. I know and respect their couple dynamic.
Okay.
And also as a consummate unicorn, I'm very well aware of couple talk. So they can have their own conversations about this, that, or whatever. These are the rules. You're breaking the rules, or let's readjust, or let's bring her in, et cetera, et cetera. But the two of them have never left me out as an equal part. And
wow.
they don't actually have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
They've known each other way longer than I have.
Right.
And so they don't owe me that, but they have always included me in terms of, hey, do you want to go to Ethiopia? And I'm like,
Wow.
yeah, that sounds like fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know?
The
Or-
respect.
No,
Wow.
we did. We went to South Africa together and ended up being stranded in Ethiopia for like 2 nights.
Oh, wow.
And so we were in Addis Ababa, and I'm looking around. I'm looking around the hotel room with the two of them. Like, okay, so I'm the black person. Y'all two white people. Like, which
Right.
type of shenanigans are we gonna get into tonight? And they're like, oh, we got you. And so we've had some great times together, but it was never a question of who is valued more. They literally just embraced me. So the fact that I didn't have the language for it, but I knew what I was doing and it felt very natural, and I had people who were embracing me, it was cool.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Should I continue?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So I traveled to other countries over a number of years, and after the Rio Olympics, I found myself back in the U.S. because my family's here. And it was 32nd birthday, I
Okay.
think. Yes, 32nd birthday. I was like, oh, there must be more LGBTQ people like me out there. So I started doing Google searches.
Right?
Okay.
And some of the things popped up, like, have you ever been fucked in a truck station bathroom? And I was like,
What?
no.
Oh my God.
What do they call them?
Yuck. Oh
why
my
would I
God.
do
lot
that?
lizards.
A lot lizard. Oh my God.
Yeah, no, like the reviews. And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do that by myself. What? And then the ranch kept popping up.
Oh.
Right.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, well, I'm bougie enough. This sounds like it might be right up my alley. What is this, a country club with naked people? Great.
Yep. Basically.
Basically. So on Friday the 13th,
Okay.
foam party night.
Of
Okay.
course.
That was our first night too. Cheers to the
Cheers,
phone
cheers.
party.
That. Oh my
Yes.
God.
Also, hashtag full moon.
Oh.
I show up to the ranch by
A
myself.
full moon on Friday the 13th, and you thought, I'm
It's
going
my
to go to
birthday.
a swingers
I
club.
know.
I'm going to
On your
Swingers Club.
birthday as well.
Yeah,
Oh,
on my
wow.
birthday by myself. And I show up with 2 bottles of Troublemaker wine because wine is arbitrary,
Right?
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay, make the bottle interesting, hopefully. Then I'll buy it. But what's inside is what I make of it, so it's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
like, yeah, no, I'm gonna get into trouble. 2 bottles, Troublemaker wine. So I show up at the ranch and I'm like, I'm definitely gonna have a good time. I'm determined.
Right?
And I'm used to going places by myself anyway, so I'm not daunted. At least everybody speaks my language.
yeah.
And I ended up meeting so many of the people who became anchors for me in my new community
Wow.
Oh, that's
on
awesome.
that particular night that I would still tell my previous self, like, don't ever look back. This is so much fun. 1, 2, worth it. Like real people. And
Yes.
I've been so much safer in the poly swinger community than I have in the vanilla. Like I've never,
right? All the time.
I've been roofied exactly once.
Yeah,
and it was at a vanilla bar.
Ooh.
I unfortunately got roofied at the ranch.
Oh shit,
dude!
I should
on her
say
birthday.
no,
on her birthday.
I should say I fortunately got roofied at the ranch because it turned out good. Because
I would say unfortunately
because he didn't realize I was roofied until the next day, and he was pissed.
Dude,
that he didn't know.
And this is how we know she was roofied. Fucking drinking, right? And she's like a lightweight, so she doesn't drink a whole lot.
Okay.
I don't really drink at all now.
And dude, she had like one glass the whole fucking night. But we smoke weed. So it's like, and she's sitting there, she's talking to everybody. She sat down and had like 45-minute conversation with this guy. Like,
don't remember any of it.
Real fucking like deep to it struck this dude's core and shit. He's just like, oh my God, Justina, thank you. I can't believe this. He was getting a divorce and shit. So and she's all, I gotta go to the bathroom. Okay. Goes upstairs. We're downstairs. She goes upstairs. Fucking Doug comes flying and he's
bad.
like, Kenji, what, dude? Justina is fucking throwing up everywhere. And I'm all, what?
Yeah.
No.
I said, what?
In the bathroom. So not everywhere, not like in the club.
Yeah, but no.
But in the bathroom.
And I'm all,
No, but even then,
Yeah.
it's traumatic.
It's
Yeah.
traumatic. And I'm like, I only had one drink, but I don't remember any of that part. So I don't remember the conversations. I don't remember throwing up. I don't remember any of that. It was like a light switch goes off. Like I remember the start of the conversation with the guy, and then I woke up
the next
Really?
day.
the next day.
At like 6 o'clock at night.
And that's all I remember.
Holy
Like
shit.
that whole, it's crazy how it just like deletes your memory.
Your memory.
It's like, and then you can't control alt delete and get that shit back. It's gone.
What's crazy
Gone.
too is
It's
like
gone.
I know who it is because it's this guy was just acting like super shady there.
And it wasn't like a regular guy. And
yeah,
One of
he's
those-
like
only
we
been
were
there
able
once.
to put,
You know,
we were able to put 2 and 2 together like
Yeah.
the next day. And he was, like I said, so pissed. Like, oh, I would have taken so much more advantage of you had I known.
It's like, babe, put me in, coach.
yes.
So now,
Put me in.
So now, whenever I leave somewhere and we're at a bar, I'll be like, "Here, I'm gonna leave my drink here. You can roofie it. I'll be back."
Yes.
No, I remember.
Where did you get roofied at?
Oh shit! It was off Colfax, across from where the previous Tom's Diner used to be.
Oh,
Okay.
shit.
There's a ramen place at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
There's a club area up top.
Mm-hmm.
And a friend of ours was DJing. She was spinning.
Okay.
And we had a whole bunch of our lifestylers there to support because that's what we do.
Yep,
Right?
And
because we're a community.
because we're a community.
Yes.
And I remember later in the night, my homegirl was like, "Are you okay?" I don't know. I don't normally fall off my heels this much because these are trusted shoes.
Yeah.
And she was like, "No, baby, are you sure you're okay?" It took me 20 more minutes, and then I couldn't, I had no equilibrium.
Yeah.
Right.
And so she caught me, "You're not okay." And so I took my homeboy's keys and I went downstairs and I got in the back seat of this car and I was curled up in a ball and just slept. And I'm on Colfax. This
Yes.
is the worst
Right.
place for me to be. I
Yes.
should probably go back upstairs.
Yes.
But the doors were locked and I remember just thinking like, you know what, just write it out, just write it out, just write it out. They come back 2 hours later after our friend's set and they've got bowls of ramen and rice. "Hey, you hungry? You might feel better. You want some water? You might feel better." And sure enough, I was like nursed back to health. We decided to just put on all of our onesies and
Mm-hmm.
go somewhere else because we didn't need to be there anymore. And it turned out I was in like the safest place I could have been
Yes.
Oh, good.
in that moment because not just my homegirl initially, but everybody else was like, "Okay, no, we got you. We know what you need. You want some quiet time? Take it. You want some food? Got you. Want some water? Done."
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And I would, but other than that, even though I've told you like that was the only place that I was roofied, and oddly enough, it was my 40th birthday too.
Oh, God.
You're not 40.
Yes, it was just 2 years ago, a year ago.
Yeah.
Can I be like you?
Right.
Grow up.
I would 100% agree though that the vanilla side of things. Like, I've been groped there. People just don't take no for an answer.
They don't ask for consent.
There's no consent at all.
Super aggressive.
Right. And so I would say that overall, any lifestyle event, and honestly, any like LGBTQ event. I mean, we're in Colorado.
Pride.
We have Aurora shooting. We have Columbine. We've had multiple shootings. We get nervous about it, as I'm sure most of the country does anytime there's a big event in any metropolitan area, because it's prevalent here and shit happens. I feel safest at Pride.
Right?
Like,
right?
Everybody's giving out hugs. Everybody's smiling. They have rainbow on.
Free mom hugs. Free dad hugs. Free auntie hugs. Free dog hugs.
There's titties everywhere, because in Denver you can be topless.
Because why not?
Yes.
Exactly.
And so I love it there. I think I feel safest there when it comes to any big, huge, events that, you worry about stuff like that. I feel safest
warm
there.
Embrace almost.
It is.
And there are even times where I remember growing up, my parents were always like, okay, so we're going to go to Juneteenth, but we're going to leave by noon.
What?
Why?
Right?
Because certain people wake up around noon and they might have some stuff. And I've got 4 little girls and we're going to get the fuck out of here.
Unfortunately.
And so as an adult, I'm still just like, okay, what time is it? Let me roll out. I don't know if I have the energy for this. I don't know if I have the time for this. And now that I have all the language and all the understanding, I'm still just like, maybe not.
Right.
But I don't have that feeling about Pride.
Right. Actually, at Juneteenth this year, there was nothing even popped off. It just was a sound that made people think that something had popped off and caused a huge rush.
Well, it was already on the heels of all the stuff that happened all that time.
Yeah.
So everyone just naturally went, oh no, gunshots, let's panic.
Yes.
Panic.
Pushed the crowd and people were getting trampled on. And I mean, people fell. There was blood. When we were walking back, because we were like, okay, that was enough fun. Let's go. We seen keys and wallets, and people just had dropped their stuff because they were in such a panic and ran.
Wow.
And so even though nothing had happened, there's that fear. Yes.
And I'm going to be totally honest with you. I tapped out of Juneteenth this year.
No shit.
I was like, I'm too black for this. You want to know what? I'm not going to celebrate a holiday where white people pat themselves on the back for freeing black people when black people free themselves. So how about I don't do this? I'll go to Black Arts Festival.
Oh, yeah.
I love the Black Arts Festival, also on my birthday weekend.
Yes.
Conveniently. I will go to a lot of other things, but I tapped out of Juneteenth because I was like, you know what? Y'all didn't do anything. This was not about you guys. You were like, oh, yay, we freed the slaves, which was wrong to begin with. Also, on indigenous people's land. Also, like, what about women's rights? Also, we can go through all of it. But you don't get to pat yourself on the back this year. Oh shit, I lost my hat. I was feeling passionate. So
as you should.
You don't get to pat yourselves on the back this year on my behalf. How about I participate in Black capitalism and commercialism when the Black Arts Festival happens, and I will not do this because this is bullshit. I love everything. Can you hear me? I love everything about the holiday. I love to see my beautiful black people dancing together and making food and having like textiles and this and that all over the place. I really do. I really do. But this year in particular, I was like, you know what? You're not going to get this from me.
No,
I'm not going to do this year. And since I'm a grown-up,
you get to make your own choices.
Right. Because usually my parents would just drag me there.
Right.
And now I'm grown up. I'm not going to go.
Shit.
I know, right? And I definitely have gone every single year since then. Like, even through COVID. Is it still going on? Like, I'm checking my phone. Like, are we still doing it? I'll show up, guys.
Right.
I believe in Black commercialism, and I know that money matters.
Yes.
I know that money matters. I know that when I'm on Amazon Prime, I'm like, no, I understand. I can get RuPaul's Drag Race for free, but I'm also just going to put this money down and buy every single season as it rolls out because it goes into the algorithm. Give them my money. Take it. I get it. We're here. Take it. What's that movie? Out? No.
Get Out?
Get Out. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I bought that one as well. I was just like, nope, we're just gonna put this in the pot. Like we're gonna support. We're gonna support the community. We're gonna come through. But for Juneteenth this year, I had to because my heart hurt too much. It's like this isn't real.
And you get to pick that. You get to make that choice for yourself.
Absolutely. I get to show up when I show up, and when I do show up, I show up with bells on.
Hell yeah. There you go.
So when you made the choice to date this couple, did you think that it would continue all these years later?
I don't think I started that relationship with that in mind, but I was very understanding that everything must come to an end at some point. None of us really make it out alive. And that's okay, which means everything has to come to an end eventually. But I was understanding of the human beings I was dealing with, and I was hoping for the best.
Okay.
As we got to know each other through the years, it turned out that we were all correct.
So do you practice any form of hierarchy within your polyamory relationships?
I try not to.
Okay.
I have partners who might request it from time to time or question it from time to time. Like, well, I'm here and he's over there, like on the other side of the country. And I'm like, okay, but you both have date nights. Just because we're on the phone or we're like Netflix watch partying or whatever, that doesn't make one more than the other. We're still like
dedicating your time.
Dedicating my time.
Yeah.
And time is the only thing you can't get back.
Right.
So I try not to be hierarchical. I think as I'm progressing in my journey, it turns out that future planning is the one that distinguishes the hierarchy.
Really?
Okay.
I'm not
Interesting.
sure if that is 100% the case with everybody, but it seems to be a distinguishing factor.
Okay.
As opposed to like, oh yeah, we might meet up once or twice a month. You know, we'll compare notes. I have this one partner, I call him my consigliere, because he will tell me the truth about myself, and he will not lie to me, and he will still love me for who I am as a human being, and that does not distinguish any of my other relationships, whether they're in the state of where we're at or in any other state, and it provides me a healthy level of balance.
Okay.
Damn.
So,
Do you hope to have a nesting partner at some point, or do you like living alone and having that freedom, that unicorn life?
here's the thing. On a very fundamental level, I understand that it takes less energy to acquire a new person than it does to teach another person who is already informed to do that task. So if it was a purely business standpoint, look, keep your employees happy, and then you don't have to spend all this money to recruit a new one.
Okay.
So I believe in familiarity.
Okay.
I took the scenic route. I believe in familiarity.
Okay.
So to a certain extent, I would love a nesting partner.
Oh.
However, not accustomed to sharing my space. I like my closed doors. I like occasionally, because it's my space.
Yeah.
I will keep things clean for other people, and then I will have my own time to me. I schedule out me time in my calendar weekly.
Nice.
Weekly. Sunday, I'm not Jewish. No disrespect. Sunday is the Sabbath.
Okay.
I don't need to do anything. I should not be doing chores. I should not be running around too much. I should just have an easy day. That means I can cook. That means I can craft. That means I can go check out drag brunch up the road.
Right.
That means I can go lay down and have a picnic in the park. I'm not rushed. I don't have to be anywhere. I don't have to go do anything. So I always space out my me time and my chore time throughout the week. So in the end, I'm still the priority.
Mm-hmm.
And in the beginning, because it's Sunday, right?
Right.
It's the end of the week and it's the beginning of the week. I am still the priority. And when I wake up on Monday, I'm like, yesterday I didn't have to wake up in a rush. Yesterday, I didn't have to go take care of a whole bunch of chores because I was responsible all week. I've been such a good girl.
Good for you.
Ready to share?
Right. Because
It's
been a long time that you've lived alone.
Yeah. And it's a renegotiation of like, how much do I want to give up?
Right.
Also, I'm perfectly fine by myself.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm an avid reader. I love music. I can make friends anywhere around the world. It turns out I'm super charming. And so I wonder about the dynamics of relationships, especially after seeing like what my parents went through. My grandparents, all of my adopted parents have all had very long lasting relations, like till actual death.
Wow.
And I'm like, that sounds great. Have you met us? Have you met me? Like, I'm not there yet. I honestly think that a condo situation would be best. That way my husband can just live right next door. He can have his ins and outs. I can.
So
be
you're
happy.
open to being
so
married.
cool.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there is. Okay, hold on a second. Maybe I don't want to.
Let's take a couple steps.
Okay.
Back it up. I don't want to get married.
Okay.
I am happy with different levels of partnerships.
Okay.
I enjoy finding out how that manifests without the contract. And I feel like the contract is the problem for me in particular.
Really?
Okay.
How come?
It's because it's easy for you to get in, it's really hard for you to get out. And in the meantime, you're just destroying each other. And I'm just like, guess what? We don't have to do that. Also, I don't want to feel like I need this contract to feel like you're not going to leave me.
Oh.
I want to know that you're down for me. And honestly, if I tell you the answer on the contract is no, and you hang tight, turns out that's actually your ride or die. I don't believe in the ride or die method. I'm sorry. Death is the other option. I will sustain myself. But somebody who isn't focused more on the contract was where I landed. And then I found out, okay, monogamy, okay, polyamory, okay, the lifestyle. And I was able to piece these things together. Like, no, I am enough. And that's also why I identify as a unicorn. Like, no, I'm here. I make my own rules. I have my own autonomy. And when I'm ready to go, I'm going to leave. And that means that nobody speaks on my behalf. And that also gives me a lot of room to negotiate. And if I were to be a fully straight single female, the men would just, beat their chest at each other. I don't have time for that. And also, the winner's not guaranteed. You don't get the prize. You just get to beat each other. Go for it. I'm not here for that.
Okay.
And so once I found ethical non-monogamy, there's my camera, ethical non-monogamy in Colorado, the state that we're in, I found myself more amongst my people who were more understanding of my terms. I am apprehensive because of my nature. I'm used to being by myself. I'm used to not having to negotiate or explain myself, which is the thing. Like, people talk about dry spells, quote unquote. What's a dry spell? Like when I decided not to have sex with somebody else or with myself, because those are different levels of how comfortable am I, how happy am I. Also, a friend of mine told me, when your cup is being filled with all the joys of life, you're actually not supposed to give any of that to anybody until it actually starts to overflow. It's like, all right.
Okay.
So what? I don't want to have sex tonight. Do I owe you that? Like, need that? Can you not get that somewhere else? Like, I'm so accommodating. But when it comes to myself, I tend to be a little bit selfish. And okay, this is how I'm feeling right now. I'm not sure if I'm ready, and I'm trying to figure out how to share space because so it's a process.
Okay.
I'm on board for it.
Okay. Are you bisexual, or how do you identify? Okay.
Very much so.
Okay. I assumed so because it sounded like you had a relationship with that. The relationship that you have with the couple is with both of them.
Both of them, and also each individually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. even over the years, it's been like, hey, can you check on it? Can you just like send her a text and check up on her? Or hey, can you send him a text and check up on him? Because I need some point of contact and also probably appreciate a friend. He or she would appreciate a friend. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Definitely become more of a communal type of friendship. I would never intrude on their relationship. However, hey, just say what's up and see what comes out, or just make sure they're okay. They would appreciate a check-in.
Nice.
I believe in that, and I don't need to be involved in their relationship in order for that to be the truth of the matter.
So the way that you got into being a unicorn is crazy because you've met these people on vacation.
No. I was teaching overseas.
Oh, you were teaching there. Okay.
So we were outside of Dubai,
okay.
and I didn't know it, but it was pre-summer. They got there before me. They're from Chicago.
Oh, so they're American.
They're American.
Okay.
And I'm from here. And so over a few months, we started exchanging conversations. I remember this really hot opportunity in the elevator. He was like, you know my wife? And I was like, there's nobody else in the elevator. I know that. And that's the beginning of all of our stuff.
Wow.
And it's
so
been like
so
15,
organic.
16 years.
I love that.
It was very natural. And so once I felt, especially when I was with like safe people, I was able to just be myself, and it wasn't a big deal. And then after that, I don't make all the rules in the world. I make these rules. So this is what I will accept. This is what I will not accept. This is my level of communication. I will be completely honest with you. I will not make you compete. But you should know that this and this and that. And listen, I'm not trying to intrude on anything. Also, I'm a great wing person. Okay?
Okay.
I'm a fantastic wing person. I can sell it. So I am happy to be all of these things. In the meantime, provide me with the same, and then onward we go. And because I spent so many years country hopping, my relationships were always temporary. Everything ends because I was teaching. So think the end of the school year.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think? Like May, June, Memorial Day, give or take.
Right.
Yeah. So, okay. This is how much time we have. Do you want to spend all this time tripping, or you want to have fun? And I just was a no complicated type of person. I came back to Colorado and I found out a whole bunch.
That think very much like you.
Right?
But it's awesome the way that you got into being a unicorn, because unicorns can sometimes get a bad condemnation. Or let me reverse that. It's not that they get it. It's that they often are targets from couples. And so I love how natural and organic that played out for you, because frequently we get the complaints that there'll be couples that are specifically unicorn hunters. And usually it's the wife pushing like crazy, trying to hook up with the girl and get her to come and, hook up with both of them. And they end up being very objectified and not feeling like they were part of that relationship or had a say in anything. And they get treated poorly, honestly. And
You're
so
not wrong.
no, it's a refreshing way to hear that they approached you and how it just, on an organic level grew into what it is now.
Grew into what it is now. And it is real. Not it was, it is. They're my people. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
And it does take a discerning taste to figure out who's who, but that's not a unicorn magic trick. That's all of us.
Right.
Right.
Well, and I believe that it takes another level of security within yourself to be poly. And a lot of people look at it as like, oh, you just want to cheat and have an excuse for it to be all right. Or you just want to fuck, you're just not happy just being able to be with one partner. You want multiple fuck partners. You don't understand. Right.
Yeah.
But you don't understand that it takes a whole nother level of security within yourself to be okay with a partner of mine having this wonderful relationship that I will never be able to impede on outside of me.
Honestly, I I believe in all of it. I mean, if it's supposed to take a village to raise a child, like, what the fuck are we doing? We have a whole bunch of adults running around willy-nilly, pulling off shootings and nonsense. And it's just like, okay, we could just be more understanding.
100%.
Listen, y'all, like, do your thing. I can do my thing. I can have my own thing. And that's what also, when you asked me about the nesting partner, I was like, no, I believe in familiarity. I like having people who already know who I am, who are intimate with me, who I can keep close. Part of, what's the term? Polycule?
Right.
Yeah. I love those people and I want to keep them close, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he needs time. So let's get a duplex, baby.
Right.
Right on.
Hey, babe, is that my camera? Let's get a duplex.
Or I think a trend is going now of them having their own rooms. Now, that can take a downside. Like, we know a lot of people that are unfortunately in monogamous relationships and also dead bedrooms.
Oh, my God.
What's a dead bedroom?
Where they're not having sex whatsoever. And so...
And haven't been for, like...
a long time.
A long time.
And it can happen frequently when, they decide that I want my own bedroom. Maybe it's a work schedule or, something that
He
warrants.
snores.
Yes, something that says, okay, I want my own bedroom. But then that can quickly turn into a dead bedroom situation. There's something to be said about having your own space, and like, I definitely need my own closet all the time. But he does too.
Obviously.
So you can't shake. Don't
Obviously.
shake your
No,
head.
I think this is a fantastic idea. You have a master bed.
Master
bedroom. And then from there down, you like zip it almost like a zipper, and then that's her space, that's his space, and you've got you've got a whole bedroom. Each of you has a whole bedroom for a closet space.
Right.
And you know what's crazy? Her shit usually flows into mine. You
let it happen.
Oh, I have to. There's there's nowhere else for it to go.
You know what? I endorse this message.
But there's something to be said about having your own space.
Yeah.
And I mean, especially like in the lifestyle, we were talking about this before the show. You have to have costumes for everything. There's events. You just want to have cute different outfits for your Sunday fun days and your swim pool parties and your Vegas trips your Sin City and all of those things. Like, you want to have all of the outfits. And so you need the closets. You need the space.
Yo, I have giant Sterilite containers. They're labeled with this season, that season, how sparkly, what color. And I stack them up. I put them downstairs because I can handle it. I don't have enough closet space.
Right.
That's the problem.
Whereas most of the time to these events, the guys just show up in like
sparkly panties.
Yeah, underwear. And it's like, really?
I mean, I'm not mad at it.
Me either. The only thing that bugs me is when they leave their socks on. I just can't do it. You've got to take your socks off.
Yeah, for real.
It's weird. If you're going to not have your shoes on, your socks need to be off too. Because I can't fuck you with your socks on.
I have strong feelings about the socks on.
Do you?
Do you?
And it's mostly because of the dick pics. Because I think dick pics are lazy.
Right?
Right? Because they're just from this angle with the tube socks.
Right?
I'm like, I'm sorry. God. I got dressed up. I put on my lashes.
Right?
Do you see me? I blew out my hair. And you're showing me a tube sock boner? Go home.
I can't do it with the socks.
I will write a little number on a Post-it note and hold it up to the thing. Like 3, poor lighting. Because why are you doing this to yourself? So I understand with the socks on, I'm just like, you're not even trying right now. You're not even trying.
You actually send them a rating?
Yes! Especially if it's unsolicited. Especially dick pics.
Love it.
If I get unsolicited dick pics, I will send you a rating. What do you expect?
Right?
I'm gonna start.
I'm sorry.
Doing
Do you
that,
have any idea? It could be 2 p.m. and I could be in a meeting. It could be 3 a.m.
Really?
3 a.m. and I can't see straight. Why am I getting? Why is your penis in my face right now? Okay.
Is it like that for you too, huh?
So I limit myself on social media.
Okay.
Agreed.
And since
I'm the same way.
Since because I don't have the bandwidth for it. Like, I can handle Facebook because it's people that I care about maybe not saying things that I care about, but also we plan events there.
Okay.
Right.
Cool. I can take that one. I can take my Instagram most of the time. I love my Snapchat because we can have strange conversations and strange filters, and we're just making faces, but we actually know each other. Like, I don't have strangers on Snapchat. And otherwise, nope, I will not engage this much. And that means that I get to have a little fun sometimes. Wait, what was the question? Oh, that's the plot.
I'm not sure, but I agree with all of that when it comes to social media.
Dick pics.
Dick pics.
Dick pics.
Yeah, so they'll pop up, and I'm like, okay, well.
That's what happens when we get high, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
We took a little break.
That's okay. That's okay. Anyway,
but then we remembered again, and it all stemmed from socks, because
it all stems from socks.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what are you doing? We got all dressed up,
right?
There have been a couple times I pulled stunts at parties where it was like, no, we'll put a little bit of thought into it. We'll have some fun, but also, aren't we grown-ups? And aren't there only grown-ups here? And aren't we all here to be?
Right.
So I will abide by random dick flashes and running around and whatever, but the socks
have got to
they're
go.
lazy.
Mm-hmm.
They're lazy.
The
I
only
know.
thing worse than socks is there was one guy, remember that? I won't name any names, but he would come up to us at the ranch and he would literally have on like dad shoes. I call them dad shoes because they're like the New Balance sneakers with socks on, but nothing else. Just his socks and sneakers. And he would do this like helicopter dick thing. And oh my God.
I must have missed this.
I was like, does anybody claim this guy? Like, fuck is this guy?
He's got a season pass, apparently.
And it turned out it was one of our friends' husbands, and I just never knew that she was actually married to him.
And she was standing in the fucking circle.
And she was standing
too.
in the circle.
God damn it.
And I was like, does anybody fucking claim this guy?
And she was like, nope.
Yeah.
She really was.
It would have been
She
even
really
funnier.
was.
It would have been even funnier. Oh, man.
Oh my God.
So yeah, that's the only thing worse than just socks, is socks and dad shoes and nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
Dog shoes.
So, tell us something you like. One of your love languages is food.
Okay, so my premier love language is food. I can make a solid case for it being its own love language and not as an act of service.
Really?
Okay.
I want to hear this.
Thank you.
I do.
Because when you make food, you put all of your knowledge and all of your feels and all of your history and all of your balance into it, and then you nourish it up. And that is separate from an act of service because, yeah, you can make this for somebody else, but guess what? Everybody eats. So it turns out it's just a human language. It's the way that we treat ourselves and we treat ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
It is that gorgeous. And so once you find out what you're doing and you're able to play around in the kitchen, that is its own language. I hope I've convinced you. I hope I convinced you and you. Food is its own language.
Well, and I love that you can take something that you love so much and turn it into an absolutely brilliant business.
Oh, right.
Like, you got to tell us about your business. You got to plug yourself shamelessly. Do it.
Shameless
Do it.
plug now.
You know
Do
it.
Okay, so I've got the names, but it's not launched.
Okay.
Okay.
I've got Travel by Taste Bud,
Mm-hmm.
and I've got Where Craving Meets Satisfaction.
And
Okay.
I'm here for the second one.
There you
'cause
go.
Put that meat in my mouth.
There you go. Like, what are you craving? And I mean, I really feel like it could be a Vegas type of game. Like, this is what I'm craving. Bam. And then you pick your acidity level and your spice level and your medium, and then there you go.
Oh.
That's the end vision. I don't know how to get there yet. I have a lot of knowledge, and so I've been using them as my hubs to just hold my information. I can also make up food trucks and launch cooking books in the meantime. Also, a YouTube channel. So I'm on
Nice.
that path. You might see me back. I mean, that face right there looks like it's craving satisfaction. So
Yes.
you tell me.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So don't you also tell a story when you do your dinner parties?
I have been known to do that, yes.
And they play a game, right? It's like a whole, like, your dinner parties are not just food.
Right?
So
It's an experience.
Right?
my dinner parties are never just food. They always end, though, exactly where I intend for you to land, where there's sorbet or a gelato of some sort. I have an impressive collection. But what I'll do is we'll be in the kitchen. Okay, who wants to help? Who wants to watch? Okay, you take notes. And we'll chop it up, literally and figuratively. And then I'll taste as we go. And I might let one person taste it, and then I'll taste it. And I'll go, hold on. Adjust it and let another person taste it. Okay, hold on. Add some like lemon juice or something, because adjust the acidity. And then I'll taste it last time. Okay, we're ready. We'll have a whole spread, and there are dancing taste buds all around. I only tend to host smaller parties because my bachelorette pad, at the moment is 6 to 8.
Okay.
People. It's not that big. It's super cute, but that also makes it intimate. I'm like, okay, we're gonna taste all this and we're gonna have a great time. What do you think? Too little salt? Too much salt? Okay. Lemon juice? No lemon juice? What about this? What about that? Also, have you pet my cat? Have you greeted the pussy at the door?
Mm-hmm.
There's pussy on the table. If the cat's on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I'll do all of that, and then we'll have our fantastic meal. Usually, they don't know that I'm experimenting. I admit it afterwards. I'm like, okay, so I've never made this before. I got the skeleton off the internet, and also I have a strong opinion about this and this and that, and I know all of your dietary restrictions, and guess what? What do you think? And they're just like, oh, my mouth just came. And so I've really had a lot of fun doing that. Turns out my friends and family are okay with me testing on them.
Okay.
Culinarily.
Okay.
Because I'm not asking to be a surgeon, just asking to make them food. So they will just eat it.
Is it just like a one-course thing, or is it like multiple courses that you do?
Yes.
Okay.
I can. Sometimes yes, sometimes no, depending on the cuisine and depending on the people present, right? So if we're talking gluten, breads, cheeses, whatever, salads even, I'll keep that in the front. Oh no, sorry, I usually put that in the back. I'll put something light on the front, and then the meat and the heavier stuff, whether it's a substitute or not, which I have feelings about that, but fine. I can accommodate so many things. Make what you need, baby. It'll be so delicious. My favorite aunt kept me in the kitchen.
Oh, wow.
And so I equate love with food.
Okay.
Okay.
Not in a bad way, but in a like, okay, tell me what you need. Like the way a bartender is like, what are you feeling? Like, okay, I want wine. I want beer. I don't know. I'm feeling acidic. I don't know. How about something sweet? How about just a shot? Like, but that's the way my aunt approached being in the kitchen. And so when I think of my relationship with food, I think of very healthy balances. I think of what feels good in the moment. If I need something warm and spicy because it's winter and it's Colorado, or it's the middle of a snowstorm. It actually doesn't matter where you're at. What's comfort food? Do you need like a meatloaf? Meatloaf sounds good. I mean, like I could get some meatloaf. Okay. I mean, we could do a ziti, which has some gluten in it. Like, who's down for gluten? Maybe. Yes. No. Today. Tomorrow. Okay. Whatever. And then you just like roll through what feels warm and happy for you.
Okay.
I love making tagines. I think you should try a tagine.
I gotta tell you, my relationship with food has completely changed.
It has.
Like I shared with you that I grew up in Italy, and so food was always viewed, I think, also as a reward in my household. So, oh, you did great. Let's go out to have a dinner to celebrate. Oh, let's get you ice cream. Let's, have cake. And so it was a reward system for me. And now I've completely changed it around where I'm more focused on the energy that I derive from it and how it makes me feel. And so I've completely cut out everything but meat. I'm full carnivore now. And I feel the best that I've ever felt. But it can get boring. I'm not going to lie, because we went from all the meats when we first started to now that I've cleaned up my system so much, I recognize that if I eat that sausage or that hot link, which phallic shaped meats were always my favorite thing in the fucking world.
Bratwurst.
Bratwurst, all the things. Italian sausage, all the meats. But it affects me now. So I can't, it'll close my throat. So, funny story.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Tell me. I'm ready.
Uh-huh.
After I cut out gluten and cleaned up my diet so much, there would be things that I would try to eat and I would taste them and I would have reactions. And one time we were up the hill, so at the Monarch Casino, and we went to the only store in town at that time in Central City. And it's like a secondhand store with just tons of housewares and things like that. Antiques.
As one does.
Yes.
Yes, I know the shop.
Yep.
Okay.
And they had this stuff called crackle corn or crack corn. And it's basically like big corn pops. You know, the cereal corn pops, but it's gigantic ones. And so this
puffed
guy.
Corn. Oh,
puffed corn.
Sweet and puffed corn.
Yep.
Fucking give me some.
This guy, anything sweet. He's got like a whole mouthful of sweet teeth. So he buys a bag and we have friends with us and they buy a bag and we go back to the hotel and he's like, I've got to eat this puffed corn. I can't wait. And our dinner reservations were
like in 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
Or some
He's like, I
bullshit.
can't wait. I'm going to open it.
I got to try this.
And so
Appetizer.
I take a couple of them and I'm like, oh, those are really good. But I almost instantly start itching. Like,
her hands.
my hands are itching. Like, I'm itching on my
From the
face.
puffy corn?
Yes, I'm realizing that I'm having some sort of allergic reaction. It's so bad that I literally sit on my hands and I'm like, okay, I've got to, just take a break and I can't eat that. And he's like, well, no problem. I got this. I'll finish the bag for us. And I'm like, okay. And then he proceeds to not only finish our bag, but also have some of his friends. And so
But I mean,
they tank it.
we tanked it all.
Yeah.
It was okay. We just didn't want to keep it.
I don't know about
Right.
maybe just you.
Right?
No, fuck no.
She had a handful.
Right?
It was me and somebody else and her.
There was assistance, Your Honor.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
I definitely had cohorts.
So flash
Not my
forward
partner. Yes.
8 hours,
12
10
hours.
12 hours later. Because this is
It was
like
like 2 a.m.
yeah. And we get done gambling. We're going back up to the room. We're having, our sexy time. And we have this room with this huge jet tub. And so I'm in the tub. We're playing water games of all sorts. And then he starts fucking me fucking my mouth. And I'm like, oh, this is one of those nights that you're going to finish like in my mouth. Let's do it. And I'm like going full force. He comes and almost instantly I feel my throat start to close. And
I needed a fucking EpiPen.
Like I'm having
And
an
I'm
allergic reaction. And
I-
I've never
I-
needed an EpiPen in my life. I've never had like any sort of allergic like the most I get is, I itch.
Right.
If I have a tomato or something that has something that I'm allergic to, lectins or something like that, I itch.
Oh no.
But this
was like full on like fucking the death of her. This was poisoning her
So
to
I'm
death.
panicking because I'm
Serious.
like, I can't even remember what hotel room number I'm in. And we're going to have to call 911 and like, I can't breathe. And so I'm panicking.
Right.
And he luckily busts open I call Kenji my man scout because he's like always prepared.
You got to be always prepared. Always prepared for that shit.
Absolutely.
No, always prepared for anything.
Absolutely.
Like, no,
Thank you.
serious.
No, I am also
serious.
that
He
like,
is that
serious.
way.
They're like, say,
He's my
I
man scout.
need something. I'm like, I probably got that in my bag.
probably
Give
got
me
that.
that
Hold
shit.
on.
Yep. Give me just a second.
Strapped.
Give me. Yep.
Ready.
I got this.
So he busts open a liquid Benadryl capsule that we had and he sticks it in my throat and he starts swirling it around my throat and I start drinking water and just trying to get the swelling to go down and it does. But that's my 1,000 Ways to Die story.
She did
I
like
almost
this.
got killed by cum.
She did like this. She said, "Oh, that shit was so hot, babe, babe." Babe.
And I knew what it was. Like I had totally forgotten that he had even eaten that. It never even crossed my mind that something he ingested could show up in his cum and I could have an allergic reaction to
12 hours later.
12 hours later. But it tasted so sweet. It tasted just like the crack corn. And I'm like, That's what did it to me. He tried to.
I fucking ran back and I like looked at the bag or whatever, right? And it was like some nitrates or something, and it was like this, and like the only reason why we got it too because it was like gluten free. No all.
It was.
Bet that's us. Like what the fuck? Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's my food / cum almost killed me story.
1,001 ways to die.
So do you cook for people that you don't love?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so it's a very personal thing for you.
Yeah. You can come into my kitchen. I can show you around. Food is love. Also, we can taste and try and taste. It's meant to be a complete conversation, not just eat this. You get what you get. Like that's not the conversation I have in my kitchen. So yeah, I like to rebalance as we go. Sometimes people will find themselves like full, but that's because, okay, wait, do we need more salt? Do we need more pepper? Do we need more lemon? Okay, and then I'll pull out my salt, acid, fat, and heat book. Have you seen that cook?
No.
Oh my gosh, it's fantastic. Salt, acid, heat, and what did I say?
Fat.
So as you balance those, you find what you want to make throughout literally anything. In the physical book, it will draw you maps along each of those elements.
Okay.
Because that's how you balance things. And also with, maps, yes. Wheels.
Okay.
That will help you fit together like, okay, I'm feeling citrusy, but also I want some yogurt. And it'll piece together what perhaps you should look up.
Oh,
and
wow.
when it comes to cooking, I mean, all you really need is an idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's your skeleton. Okay, come on, internet.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Hook me up. And you can come up with a lot of ideas. You can watch videos until you feel judgy or until you're like, you find that one flavor, you're like, that's exactly what I want. Do I have any rosemary?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you just get into your kitchen and you start to feel like a savvy motherfucker.
Right.
Every single time you pull it off. And then other people will be like, I didn't know you could cook like this. And you're like, neither did I. Pepper grinder.
Wow.
So
it's your love.
it's my love.
Is there a place where somebody can book with you to come to one of your parties?
Not yet, but I bet if enough interest in the comments, I would be able to.
Okay. That's good
Okay.
to know.
It's a work in progress, but summer has been a lot.
I believe it.
Mm-hmm.
And so my progression kind of leans me into the fall as the temperature cools down. I find myself more indoors, and then also I go into hibernation mode of project time. I don't want to go into winter depression, so I do projects.
Okay.
And I'm working on book the first of it. Those would not start until after Halloween.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
November,
So
huh?
November. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to compete with all of these events out there. Also, I'm just providing dinner and a show. We can work it out. We get all the costuming out of the way. And for that matter, if you hit me up, we can hang out and do costuming as well.
Okay. There you go.
Oh, no, I have some great ideas for this.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Ooh, okay.
I think they're cute. I mean, yes, absolutely. So we'll see.
So that's where the business is heading. But where do you think you're heading? Where do you see Jamila in 10 years? Like in terms of your relationships?
Hell, how about 5?
Yeah.
5 to 10 years. I believe I will find myself very secure in the relationships that I feel stand strong at this moment. I believe that I will find myself more confident in my choice of human beings and the way I spend my time over the next decade, 5 years, tomorrow. I see myself being the part of myself that is ready for the next thing and also like so loving, like so beloved. I want to feel at ease and I want to feel beloved, and 10 years, 5 years, tomorrow, that's where I want to be.
Oh,
Okay.
I love that.
Okay.
Jamila, thank you so much for coming on our show.
I know we appreciate
Thank
you.
you for sharing your story because it's hard to find those positive unicorn stories because, like I said, we've run into a lot of unicorns that have had just terrible luck within the lifestyle and have felt really used and have had to then step back and take some time to work on themselves. And it's just amazing that you were able to foster such stable, loving relationships.
I wasn't lucky. I learned balance. That should be it for everybody, but apparently unicorns are only allowed to be autonomous and are only allowed to have that balance that they decide, they construct within themselves. Like, I manifest it. Like, no, this is what I need. This is what I don't need. And then I proceed thusly. And it turns out things can possibly be okay. Can things go awry? Absolutely. That might be for another episode. And that's totally fine. But in the meantime, where do I see myself in 5 to 10 years? Dancing amongst the stars.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
thank you, Jamila.
We appreciate you.
Yes, we do.
Oh, my God.
We love hearing everybody's story. It's just, I hope you got something out of this. I hope you were able to learn something that made life better for you guys.
Right?
That's what we're here for. We want you to be successful in your relationships, not only with other people, but also with yourself. And I think Jamila has an amazing relationship with herself.
Right? The most important one.
Yes, absolutely.
No, find your balance.
There you
Find
go.
your balance.
There you go.
Time is the only thing you can't get back.
That's
right.
right.
Exactly.
You can't
That
get
is
it back.
right.
You can't make it. You can't buy it. You can't barter. No, use it wisely.
Absolutely.
Self-care.
100%.
Okay.
I'm the queen of self-care.
Yes.
My life is self-care.
Yeah. Yeah.
I endorse this message.
It's just, we love you. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. Please go to YouTube and subscribe to us. We're trying to grow our audience there. And also Twitter. Please go to
Yes.
over to our Twitter.
TikTok.
We don't get banned for talking about sex and things like that on Twitter.
What? I've been holding back this entire time?
Right. X. Sorry.
X.
X. Now it's X.
Nope. His mama named him Twitter. I'm a call him Twitter.
Right. I'm a diehard Twitter fan too. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to get used to just calling it X. But go over there, check us out. We love you
All
guys.
of it. All of socials.
Bye, Ishes.
Bye, Ishes.